Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the damsel in the dress, Sandy Reevy.
I think I understand that one. Hi, everybody. How are you doing on this Monday?
It is episode 152, June 21st. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have Monday, June 21st, Venus trine Neptune.
Get together with other creatives.
Tuesday, June 22nd, Mercury stations direct.
Are you all set yet?
Wednesday, June 23rd, Sun trine Jupiter.
Be useful to yourself.
And also Venus opposing Pluto.
Play games with purpose.
Thursday, June 24th, the full moon in Capricorn.
Keep the faith, baby.
And Friday, June 25th, Neptune stations retrograde.
It's his annual trip.
And Saturday, June 26th, Venus ingress Leo.
Strife befalls? ?
And the talisman times that Sandy has finished up. Saturday, June 19th, to possess a beautiful appearance and an appreciative nature. And none upcoming, but you can make your own personal talisman. Then on the horizon, we are going to discuss our talisman trunk show and raffle that just passed, the Jupiter and Pisces Talisman Workshop, along with our July astrology forecast, our 7-day intention challenge, our first live event since COVID in August, as well as our fall equinox constellation bracelet workshop. Then in our house, I have some news to share about my favorite sport and also one of my least favorites. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control where you go.
Hello, damsel in the dress.
Damsel, explain. Dress, I understand.
So you're wearing a dress, which you don't normally wear dresses, and you've gotten so many compliments on it, right?
So many, and I've pulled out some old ones as well. So, Uranus is on my Venus, so I'm thinking I need to be more, feminine.
Right.
Yeah.
And, normally it's the damsel in distress.
Oh, my God.
It's a play on words.
You know what? And I know that...
So
brilliant, and I wasn't picking up what you were putting
my
down.
Brilliancy?
Yes.
You couldn't see it?
I'm
right here. So anyway, let's go direct to all of you listeners. Thank you again so much for listening to our podcast. It lights us up. It is, our soul food. So make sure that you're sending in these emails. I know that I get more messages saying that, oh my gosh, I need to send you that testimonial, or oh my gosh, I want to send in more information. It's like, you just sent me an email to tell me that you're going to be doing it later, which is funny. So just send them in. This email is from Nikki H. She was responding to an email that I send out when people purchase for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. I've had my eye on your moon ring. When I opened it, the package, my mom was nearby and made a beautiful remark about it. So I just gave it to her and then ordered another one for me. I forgot how much she loves silver jewelry, and I borrow so much of hers over the year that I end up just keeping it. I'm so glad to be able to give her something back.
Aww.
I'm also happy to have come in contact with intention beads and the readings that Sandy and Susan do. They are awesome. I plan to participate more in the future because you guys offer so much good stuff. Enjoy the love, Nikki H.
Thank you, Nikki H. I think we saw you this morning. So thank you for responding and enjoying and sharing with Mom what she has shared with you.
And that's so lunar.
Yeah.
That's so, because
it's lunar.
That's a mother connection. It's mother
Taking care
Luna.
of daughter taking care of mom.
Right. And which also rules silver. And now we're in Cancer season, or just about to be. And it's beautiful because that's all Cancerian, these wonderful emotions about family and love. And so Nikki H, you're right on and right on time. Thank you so much. So let's move in the transits. We have today, if you're listening on time to this podcast, Monday, June 21st, Venus trine Neptune.
This is at right before 9 a.m. Get together with other creatives. Now, you don't have to do it on Monday morning at 9 a.m. You can do it at some point. Make an arrangement or an art date, if you will. But simply sit or lay around wishing on a star. Remember when we did that as children, laying down and just looking up there and looking for a shooting star? Maybe do that tonight. Be in wonderment of all possibilities. You know, it reminds me of the 3 eyes. And, you know, we know about, you know, my upcoming eye surgery, right? That's like one
Is that one of the eyes?
But the 3 eyes of inspiration, intuition, and imagination. And so this is very strong here at the beginning of the week. Boom. Live your week like this. Be in the wonderment of all possibilities.
Beautiful. And Tuesday, June 22nd, Mercury stations direct.
At 5 p.m. at 16 degrees of Gemini. Now, Mercury's been retrograde for 3 weeks. And, you know, being in his own sign in Gemini, for me, it was like, you know, not going to be, I didn't really anticipate a lot of stuff. You didn't
forecast it to be too bad.
Too bad, because he's very resourceful. He's got all of his tools. He's got all of his pencils. He's got his skills. Mm-hmm. He's just not feeling like using them all, right? So, you know, this is like your plans begin to move forward. You know, are you all set? You know, did you get things in alignment? Did you get organized? Did you let go of things? Mm-hmm. You know, it's, you know, strap in and get ready to take off. Now, what's funny for me is because since I made that prediction of Mercury being kind of easy in this, it turned around and slapped me in the face and said, how dare you say that about me retrograde, that I will be okay. Clip, 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 slap, slap. And this last week particularly.
So you're the damsel in the dress.
I'm so now getting what you were throwing on 2 levels that it really has. So I'd love to hear how some of your Mercury retrograde stories, it isn't my, what my share is in our house, but will be next week. I'll talk about that next week. I want to get through one final piece of that on early this week.
Yes.
And then I'll talk about the retrograde stuff. Okay.
So let's move on. Wednesday, June 23rd, we have 2 transits. The first is Sun trine Jupiter.
5:11 in the morning. This will be happening as we're waking up. Be useful to yourself. What? You know, it's a very nice and pleasant and positive influence. Anytime the sun is making a trine to the outer planets, which is Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, whenever the sun is making a trine to these outer planets, that planet is either just going into retrograde or just coming out of retrograde. So this particular Wednesday, the 23rd, is Jupiter has just gone into his retrograde cycle. So that's the only time we can get the trine is when that planet is retrograde. So we have to, you know, use a lot of this energy, you know, to pull in because we're going retrograde. We're on the retrograde side of the Sun trine Jupiter. Mm-hmm. And you know, the next time we get the Sun Jupiter would be coming out of his retrograde, but he's going into his retrograde. So in other words, be useful to yourself. Find ways that you can be pleasant, positive, to influence the things that you desire. It's a time for inward. You know, it will be easy to project enthusiasm into the world so that it can return to you. So use up what you have inside so it returns to you like double fold over the period of the next 5 months. We also have more around dinner time.
The Venus opposing Pluto.
Venus opposing Pluto. Play games with purpose. You know, this is Venus. This is love, you know, relationship, beauty, you know, aesthetics, is intensified by being an opposing Pluto. It happens 1 day a year. So intensifying love in other relationships. Watch compulsive natures, right? Use to reassemble any misdoings. Is there anyone that you need to mea culpa, apologize, forgive, reach out? Maybe there was some misunderstanding during the Mercury retrograde. Whatever intention you have, make sure it is purposeful. And the reason why I titled it Play Games is because often this position can be that compulsive, jealous, manipulative placement. So you don't want to be playing games just to get your leg up, you know, over someone. That's not cool. And you will fall on your face.
So having it be more playful.
Well, have it
with not so much sinister,
right? With purpose. Like have it with an intention. Like, you know, we can play this out. Let's spend 15 minutes, you know, bitching at one another about all the things we don't like and settle that.
To gamify argument. That's what you're, you know, maybe.
So
maybe that's a good way to do it too.
And it's not all day. It's with purpose. Like we're going to start here on your market.
We have 20 minutes to yell at each other nonstop. Right.
And we can we don't have to, you know, like hold hands like it's, you got the stick, I got the stick. No, it's just like battle, battle, battle. You don't even hear it. You're just getting it out. And then the timer goes off and you stop. And then you ask each other, is there anything that was unclear in that? Of course there was. Is there anything else you need me to repeat? Yes or no? Is there anything you need me to repeat? Or have you just gotten out your grievances to the air, to the person you needed, but you're not making a solution?
Okay.
Right. So it's playing a game with purpose. Like, you know, you want to win at something. Maybe you're literally playing I know you and your boyfriend love.
We just bought 2 more games.
Board games.
We love it. Seriously.
So, you know, like being in that competitive field, like, you know, my strategy, I'm not telling your strategy, and you're doing manipulative maneuvers like, oh, why'd you move that way? When you were saying to yourself,
I hope you move that way.
I hope you move that way. Right. So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's more of a healthy competition than a undercutting power force. Right.
So Thursday, June 24th, we have the full moon in Capricorn.
3 degrees Capricorn. This is an early degree, and this happens at 1:40 p.m. Chicago time. Keep the faith, baby. Now, full moon, let's picture this. The sun is in Cancer, and the sign of Cancer, opposed the moon. So the moon has to be opposite Cancer, and that's in Capricorn. So let's just talk about that for a second before I bring in the next aspect. The ruler of the sun is who? What rules Cancer? Who rules Cancer?
The moon.
The moon. So the moon is in the opposite sign that he likes to be in. So he's in his detriment. So moon has no resources here. The sun is in the place of, so there's a what we could call a reception here. But really, the moon feels homeless in a foreign territory. Maybe there are some mistakes that are being made, or trip ups, or saying the wrong thing when you're supposed to be being more caring or more loving. And you're having a bad attitude saying, you know, well, yeah, I love you too. You know, where, you know, it's okay to act like that. Catch yourself and go, oh, I see what this is, the moon, and this will only last for a day or two, but it's really bringing out the emotions which remember the day before when we had that Venus opposing Pluto, and then the next, within 20 hours, this full moon occurs. So is there something that you have to keep the faith of and believe that you are being taken care of by your loved ones?
Okay.
Right. Even though it may not sound like that right now. So, yeah. And then, but it's also the moon is making a really nice aspect to Jupiter. It's a trine aspect. Jupiter is in the 2 degrees of, has just left actually the trine, but Jupiter's retrograde. So, again, Jupiter's like, yeah, I'm trying to help you over here, but I'm heading away. Goodbye. I'm leaving, the place that I just stationed. So I can only help you a little bit.
Right.
So keep the faith. Keep the faith. This isn't going to last long.
And Friday, June 25th, Neptune stations retrograde.
Yep. That's this annual trip. And when I was reading my notes that I wrote, I'm like, his annual rip. I'm like, did I forget to ask, maybe Riptide? It's Neptune, right? I'm like, his annual Riptide. And then I realized I have a T there, so it was his annual trip. So even in writing this, the Neptune can get a little bit fuzzy and murky in the clarity. So whether it was my eye or my writing when I wrote this, but this is he moves back. He's at 23 degrees of Pisces. He moves back 3 degrees to 20 degrees of Pisces. So anyone that has birthdays between March 11 and March 14, where your natal sun would sit, you're getting that Neptune conjunct the sun. And we've talked about that before. Obviously you're a Pisces and you're asked to be more Piscean, but through your own intuition, there's the 3 eyes again. And when you think about 3 eyes, and I don't know if I just made this up as I'm about to say, because you got your 2 eyes on the, on your face.
Your physical eyes.
Your physical eyes. And then you have the 3rd eye, in between, which is all about intuition, imagination, and inspiration. Mm-hmm. So have those 3 eyes be very, very, you could be clear on inspiration. You may not be clear on reality. You can be really clear on intuition, but you may not be clear on what you really know, right? You can be really clear on imagination versus what is actually happening in the moment, So it's different, that Pisces, that Neptune energy going retrograde in Pisces. I mean, he's been in Pisces for probably 10 years and he's only at 23 degrees. So go within to find your inspiration. It's there exactly where you left it.
Yes, and sometimes it can be hard to fight the rain that Neptune having coming onto your sun. It tends to be kind of a dampered feeling, but if you can really circumvent that with a lot more of mysticism and fantasy and really escaping into these imaginary worlds and visions, that's key.
That's a place to live at that period of time. Now, it could be that you have to be here for, not just one day. It could be that you're here for a 9-month period, but know that you're pulling in, practice those 3 eyes for anyone that has any planets right around that 23 Pisces to 20 degrees of Pisces.
And just remind us what those 3 eye words are.
Intuition, imagination, and inspiration.
Love it.
I.
So let's move on. Saturday, June 26th is our final transit of the week. Venus ingress Leo.
This happens at 11:27 p.m. This is really interesting to me. Strife befalls, ? Let's imagine this. Venus, the planet of relationships, love, art, connection, right? Mm-hmm. Is moving from a cardinal, from Cancer, from a cardinal water sign where Venus has some dignity, to the Leo sign of fire fixed, where she has no dignity. So while she enters at this time, Leo, she's expecting a lot of fun and courage and being proud and standing in leadership and really self-expression, creativity, acting, entertainment, maybe a little gambling, maybe going to a little bit of the bars and taverns and festival art shows around the town, you know, getting your beer and your corn on the cob and and looking at art. However, she meets up with Mars, and just to be in the same sign where Mars is what occurs here. Is there some sort of connection with the feminine and the masculine? Do they connect well? Do they not connect well? So it's as if you're at this festival with your corn cob and your beer, and you're looking and you run into somebody that you've had a relationship with, possibly, that maybe didn't go so well. Maybe there was like a argument and a runoff. Maybe there was a ghosting involved, and what becomes of that moment. So just kind of be ready for finding something that could be a little bit of a rub, that Mars, or something that gets heated. Mm-hmm. And you know that you can have that standing in your leadership and that power, and to increase your loyalty to what it is you want. Not what was taken away from you, maybe by somebody that you've run into, or you've run into somebody that you wanted to be in a relationship, you know, that didn't want. I'm reading one of my mythology books, you know, and there's this new myth, this new goddess who was married to Dionysus. Her sister professed her love to her current husband's son from another woman, and yikes. This is a myth. This is a myth.
They are always a lot.
Eridine. It's the new book that just came out. I mentioned it last call. But I'm to the point where she professes her love, and he says, "Oh my God, I have to leave. You are my father's wife," and she goes off in the back and hangs herself. So when I say strife, I'm not talking about that. But it was what reminded me of it. It's like, what have you done for love? What will you do for love? But what about your own self-expression of your own love? Mm-hmm. Stand in that, in your loyalty to yourself, or to who you're in love with now, who you have committed yourself to.
Okay. So let's move into talisman times. We have solely one talisman that we're going to be discussing, and that it was created Saturday, June 19th, to possess a beautiful appearance and an appreciative nature.
I am honored to be noticed for the stature I possess. I intentionally perform my duties out into the world, wrapped in love and grace. I care. And this was the Libra was coming up over the horizon. The moon was in Libra, coming up over the horizon. And Venus is in Cancer. This is a mutual reception, and Venus is in the 10th house. Just a really nice place of showing people that you care and that you have appreciative, beautiful appearance. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're selling, like a cosmetic or a skincare line, or you're promoting something like this, or you want to sell some jewelry, or just some clothing, maybe some hair accessories.
And I think that you know, especially if you're trying to become that person that people are attracted to, that people want to either buy a product from or learn something from, emulate you really have somehow, to embody that for yourself. You know, you're not going to go up to somebody who looks all like haggard and can't dress themselves the right way for style tips. You know, you're not going to hire the stylist who wears sweatpants all day, every day. So it's just those types of things, you know, when we can really possess that appearance for ourselves. Not saying that like you have to be the supermodel. No.
No.
It's like just really being cautious of, you know, how
It's a
you're
style.
appearing.
This is first house. This is all first house. So it's aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't have to please everyone, but it has to be put together.
And it's your physical self-care.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's how you are approaching the world, and what you're doing in your career are connected. They have to be linked. Well, especially with this one. And the final thing, you know, I am wrapped in love and grace. I care. So this is somebody that really shows that.
And it
to the
seems like a
world.
very like mothering type of attitude. And I think that's where you're bringing in maybe a little more Cancerian.
Yeah.
Of
Well,
this
because
aspect.
Venus is in Cancer.
Mhm.
Cancer's at the top of the chart, ruled by the moon. So the two placements, what rules the midheaven in Cancer is the moon. What rules the ascendant? Venus, because it's Libra. And those two, Venus, the moon is making a connection, an aspect to Venus. And they're in each other's signs. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a, hey, hi, let's exchange. I'll take what you have and you have what I have.
Mhm.
And let's move together through the world like this.
Right.
I mean,
Beautiful.
I really like this one. This is a large bead. I made one bracelet. And guess what time it was? 1:11 p.m.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so the upcoming talismans are blank. There is a blank
There is,
slate ahead.
I'm not doing any.
And also, we do have the Orbit of the Month that's going to be available for another 2 weeks. My mind and body are proud of me. And I really, really like this one. It's brand new. This is the latest Orbit that you've created. And it's on the website. You can get a $5 credit towards shipping if you just put it in the cart. So even if you purchase other things, you're getting free shipping.
Oh, I didn't even think about it like that.
So on the horizon, I just wanted to briefly mention I have created a Talisman Trunk Show recap that's on the website.
You did.
It's in the blog, where if you are interested in just learning a little bit more about these talismans, we recorded Sandy's her trunk show in showing all of these more recent talismans that she's created. And I have the timestamp. So if you want to see one in particular, you can go to like 22 minutes, 53 seconds. And that's where you'll see the bracelet. And there's a link. It's clickable. You can click on the link and you go straight to the bracelet to see if it's available.
Then it also shows me pointing to the charts, the election
Right.
charts.
Right. In the
And I
video,
do-
it has you talking about the bracelet itself, but it also has you, of course, showing the chart as well, which I thought was totally crucial. Everyone loved that addition to the trunk show, and it
Yeah.
just made sense.
We've never done that before, but that just meant we had to pre-select
Yes.
the ones that we were showing. And some of them are gone. Some of them are on the arms of the
Owners.
owners.
So also, kind of in tandem of that, the Jupiter and Pisces Talisman Workshop is wrapped. However, we did create some extra talismans if you wanted to join in. You still get the worksheets. You get all of the personalized dates along with it. And you get to call whether you want it to be a charm, whether you want it to be a bracelet or a necklace. There's so many different options with color. And just click that link. Figure out which ones you want. It's an amazing talisman. This Jupiter and Pisces time that we're in is super dreamy. Probably perfect for any of those people who are getting that Neptune on their sun, that March birthdays that we were talking about in the transits.
And that was March 11th through the 14th.
So let's move into on the real dates of On the Horizon, because those are kind of like recaps that I wanted to share, that if you did miss them, you still have the opportunity. So let's move in June 26th at 10 a.m. We have our monthly July astrology forecast. This is on Facebook Live with Sandy and Susan. You know the drill. It's amazing information. We also have the cheat sheet available for download. It's $10. It will save you so much time and energy trying to hurry up and write down all of the things that Sandy and Susan say. So it's a time saver for sure. There's a little note section, so you can have it printed out before
Absolutely.
this Facebook
Please
event
do.
where Sandy and Susan will really expand on those, dates and everything. You have on there Sandy's favorite dates, the conflict days, the astro interesting days, and all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure to RSVP by clicking that link, and also download your cheat sheet by clicking the other cheat sheet link. July 10th through the 16th. This is for Talisman owners only. This is our 7-day intention challenge. So if you were kind of on the fence about getting a talisman, now is a really wonderful time, because this 7-day intention challenge teaches you a lot of information that you need to start manifesting with these talismans. It's all about, like, what does Sandy do, behind the scenes that you don't even realize is a part of this bracelet. It's like insider information that builds on the value of what we do. Mm-hmm. We have had people come back for this 7-day challenge regularly.
Yes.
Because it also is a sense of community. You're really focused on your intention and affirmation. You're there with your talisman, and you're being witnessed by the group as you announce what you're looking for and what this desire is, this like burning desire that you're working on, at least for that day, because we have people sometimes juggling some, a couple talismans, and depending on the day, depending on what you have ahead, you can utilize the best one. And you even talk about how to do that in this 7-day challenge. So if you have a talisman, you must register it to get the invite. If you don't have a talisman, of course, now is your chance to get this invite by heading onto the website. You can either purchase an universal or a personal. So August 6th to the 8th, this is our first in-person event since COVID.
Yep.
So this is Barefoot and Free. It's a predominantly yogic event outside, camping, and they have music and yummy food and vendors. And we actually were the vendors in the last couple of years that they had it. And now we're coming back as you're teaching classes.
Yeah,
you're one
I'm
of
a
the speakers.
presenter, and I'm going to be teaching astrology.
Yes, you are. So, of course, if you want more information, I've included the link of the Barefoot and Free. You can get your tickets there, and we would love to see you. Then finally, I know we're reaching really far in the horizon, but there's a lot to look forward to here. September 7th to October 20th. I know this is a big span, but this is what is called our Constellation Bracelet and Workshop. This is the fall equinox session, and this is where you are really engaging with your chart as you're creating a talisman for every single time that we're meeting. It's an amazing
Connection. Deep
work that
it's the biggest work that we do.
Yes.
It's 12 calls. We're scaling it down to maximum of 7 people. And it's on the website. Is it on the website now that anyone that's interested and get in early? Get in early if you're interested. And it's working with me, with your chart, with the transiting aspects. We will be including, we always start at a new moon and we always end at a full moon. And right somewhere in the middle is either one of the equinoxes or the solstices. So we are this week wrapping up our summer solstice, and just can't believe we're wrapping this up for this last Constellation Bracelet and Workshop. But the fall equinox is available to sign up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, what I really love about this too is that how tight and how supported everyone feels. Like the power just starts building from the first meeting. It is this incredibly potent energy that's available. And we're meeting at these specific times. So it's kind of crazy. It's not like I'll see you every Tuesday on 10 a.m. No, this is like I will see you when the sun is now opposing Pluto.
I'll see you then.
I'll see you exactly then. And we come in with a Zoom call. It's amazing. And yes, you just have to sign up. There's more information, of course, too, if you click that link. So I think we're into our house now.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I'm
Which it's all about
in this.
me. It's
I
all
know,
about
but
me
I have
this
stories
time.
about it too. I mean, I'm practically live your life, don't I?
So I have some news to share. So I have my favorite sport, and maybe I don't share a whole lot about this, but I think if you've heard enough of our podcast, maybe you've heard like a trickling of it. My favorite sport is pool, aka billiards. It's always been a secret talent of mine. And we had a pool table growing up, and I loved it. It was this beautiful burgundy red felt, beautiful Brunswick leather braided pockets. I mean, it's for me, like that's awesome. And I'm probably talking to a lot of walls here, but so my least favorite sport, and I think I'm exaggerating here because so it's running. It's like kind of this love-hate relationship.
Well, at least you love part of it.
So,
it's a hate relationship for me.
So yeah. So let me explain.
And where do you want me to jump in?
We'll start in my. You can start.
No, I want to start with the biking.
Okay.
Can we start? Because that's
go ahead.
First.
Yeah.
So what you were telling me is that when you and your boyfriend and his brother, who was a triathlon athlete, he does them around the world, blah, 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 blah. And Chicago's having a triathlon this summer. Like, let's really be serious here.
End of August.
It's in 2 months.
Right.
So the brother was saying, hey, I'm going to come back. I want to do the Chicago triathlon. I'm going to sign up and I'll come back and visit you guys. And okay, cool. And he's like, oh, and they're also doing a team triathlon. So, a triathlon is swimming, running, and biking. Is it in that order?
Swimming, biking, running.
Swimming, biking, running. And typically it's one athlete. But now they're doing this, and I don't know if it's new or whatever because I've never looked into it. You can get a swimmer, you can get a biker, and you can get a runner. So they're discussing it off to the side. You're like cooking dinner or something.
Right. And they're speaking in Spanish, so I really couldn't even like eavesdrop all that well.
Yeah. And they look at you, they decide this, they pay their fees, they put their name in, they turn to Alex and say
something in Spanish, and they're like, right? Right, Alex? Right? Yes. Just say yes. And I kept being resistant. Like, what am I saying yes to? And they all had these like smirks on their faces. I'm like, I don't trust this. And what happened was I had to say yes in order to know exactly what they were talking about. And I agreed to be the runner of this 3-person triathlon. And I'm excited about it. I'm just a little bit nervous. Every single year I do a 5K. It's a turkey trot before Thanksgiving. And before I had like a lot of support. I had my brother.
There was motivation.
I had people that were coming with, and they're
turkey.
like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do the turkey trot. We'll wake up super early at 6 a.m. and we'll go and we'll run, and then we'll feel better about, gorging ourselves with food. And throughout the years, the numbers have been dwindling to the point where I only do it by myself.
Yeah, I'm busy cooking.
So now I am reinvigorating this running love-hate relationship that I have. And
So you're a 1/3 part
triathlete. It's in like the lower part of my body, my feet, my legs.
And so you got to get training here.
Right. Yeah. So it's basically going to be like running 3 times a week in different intervals, because he knows how to train. My boyfriend's brother, he's got all of the knowledge and says, okay, you know, you're going to train one day with like kind of sporadic sprints and jogs. And the next day is just going to be consistent, you know, low speed. And then the third day of that week, you're really going to try for as long as you can go until you tire out.
And how many miles is your part?
It's just 3.5 miles.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretending like it's this 26 like full on marathon, but it's a short run.
And so Rocco is going to
He's going to swim.
He's a
swimmer. He was a swim coach ever since he was like 13 years old. Yeah. Actually, their family back in Mexico owned a swimming pool. So he got to teach even babies how to swim, and even a 70-year-old woman how to swim. Mm-hmm. So there's and he's been even teaching me how to swim, the Pisces. And so can we move on to my favorite sport yet? Because I'm really excited.
And this just came in to me. I just found out about this part today.
So I received an invite to be competing for the Ladies World Championship team. So this is the American Pool Association. The woman who texted me, I had met years prior at a tournament. And she said she remembered me, the way that I played. And she said she looked me up on American Pool Association to see what my, statistics are. How do I play? What is my winning percentage? And she realized that I've been off the roster for a little while because, relationships. And I'm back on, and she says I'm quote unquote kicking ass as a 5, because there's all these skill levels that you can have. You can start off as a 2 and work your way all the way up to a skill level of 7. And I'm at a 5 right now, which gives you some benefits and also, some challenges, because you're expected to be a better player. So if you're playing someone at a lower skill level, you really have to bring up your game, because the person you're playing gets a handicap. So the qualifiers are next Saturday. So next week, well, pretty much this Saturday. And then if we qualify, if we win, we play in Vegas for the Ladies World Championship for APA.
Woo-hoo!
So very excited.
And you said yes.
I said yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I did.
Jupiter, still is saying say yes to all the opportunities coming your way.
And I'm really excited because this woman she's won 3 times. So she knows how to do it.
Well, she knows how to get a team.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So excited, and wish me luck. Of course, email me and give me some support and some cheering. Info, or
can I go
Alex,
and take movies?
Alex
videos?
at intentionbeads.com. I'm sure I can try and take some videos when all this is going on.
You can't take a video and shoot pool.
I'll ask someone.
Alex,
are you going to be
focused there? I don't know. We got to figure that out. The time and the place.
Right.
Okay.
So it's Saturday.
Okay.
You won't have to travel all the way to Vegas. I won't.
Good.
I won't burden you with that.
That's awesome. So congratulations on both of those. And the pool comes in first.
Yes.
And then you get to run.
So anyway, I think that is a wrap on this week's episode. We love you all. We want to hear from you. Email us, Alex at intentionbeads.com. Make sure to make it to our website if you haven't so far, intentionbeads.com. Check out the blog. I've been really active there, as well as our social media. That's Intention Beads. And I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope you all have a great week. So we will see you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Triple I.
And the search ends here, where the